It's a great honor for us to have Paul Polman here. As you all know, we do not have enough business leaders fighting for truth, righteousness, and sustainability. And Paul, probably, as I said in a note to you, I think yesterday, probably more than any other businessman in the world, has gone out on a limb, not only in his own company, but as chair of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, as the leader of the Consumer Goods Forum, as a leader of the B team, as a commissioner for Ban Ki-moon for Sustainable Development Goals, as a commissioner on the new climate economy, and many of you have seen videos of him, you've heard him speak, and we are deeply grateful that
we need to do that together. We could not do what you are doing here internally because we would never have the credibility to have a global standard. Nor would we be able to be a convener of that many people that make these global standards come alive. Take, your Forest Watch example, for example, needs that objectivity. It can never be a company standard. We've tried it in the past with some things. So our business model is one: how can we positively address and contribute to solving some of these challenges? That's why we have to make our business totally sustainable and decouple growth from environmental impact. That's why we have to be able to measure social impact. How many jobs do we create for smallholder farmers, for women? So it's a bizarre model for some people, but I think it's the only model long term to be successful. Because then I say, how can we create tea with smallholder farmers? Looks to me ideal because it's all hand picking and it's an ideal crop to create employment. And then we say, how can we create value for these people? What is a fair wage? What's a living wage? And then we go on and say, what does that mean for the products we need to sell to make it sustainable? So to me, it's incredibly exciting that we can create the best tea plantations from a sustainable point of view, a social compliance point of view, the ruggy frameworks, etc., and create a tea brand that would be so exciting for the world that we get permission to keep selling that to more and more people and have a return that allows us to do more of that. I'd rather be a company that earns the same money improving the lives of twice as many people than earning a little bit more money and only dealing with half. And that's a good model also for our shareholders. I'm convinced of that. And our share price, interestingly, has gone up quite nicely and has given a good return, a fair return again, to our shareholders. So we're trying to prove that there is another way to do business, which was. But if you take a brand like Ben & Jerry's, which is growing 10% plus in the US, doing very well, and it's a premium ice cream, by the way, but the people that buy it are people that associate themselves with the cause. It's an advocate brand for causes. Right now we launched an ice cream which is a taste of swirls, which comes from a taste of the world, Save Our Swirls, which comes from Save Our World. And it's basically climate change. We got all these electric Teslas to go around the country, and this taste is flying off the shelf. Because we've set such audacious goals, green energy everywhere, reaching 1 billion people with health and well-being, total sustainable supply chain. The goals are so audacious that it has changed the mindset of many people. We are the first company that has all of our factories, and we have 500 plus factories in the world, all zero waste to landfill. When I launched that, people thought he's berserk. But now people figure it out. The factories have better quality, people are more motivated, we save the costs, and all the things that come with it. So get people in that mindset by making these audacious goals is something I like to do. And the human being is, creative enough to find those solutions. And we change about 50,000 companies a year in terms of suppliers. So we have created this responsible sourcing code that is quite unique because it brings them to 3 levels: minimal, acceptable, and then we bring them up. And with that bringing up are incentives to work with us. And what we've seen is that a lot of smaller companies, they might not have the tools, they cannot sit here, they cannot work with you on all of it, but they're getting it from us by working with us. Just like we try to get a lot of social entrepreneurs to work with our companies. So smaller companies can benefit from that. We are the 3rd most looked up company in LinkedIn after Google and Apple, which is totally bizarre. In most countries that we operate, we are now the preferred supplier, preferred employer. because people want to work for companies where they can make a difference at the end of the day. You know, it's the Bhutan National Happiness Index versus the GDP. A lot of young people understand now that their self-worth is not measured by their net worth. It's measured by the impact they can have to make a difference and leave this world in a better place. And the most important thing we actually have is our spending power. It's with the way we spend money. And you are providing a key tool than anybody else to give that transparency on how you spend the money. I've certainly become more aware over the years and continue to work there. My wife is very adamant on that, on where we spend and from who we buy and what we buy. We don't buy much, but when we do, I certainly want to. Or your investment portfolio is where you spend your money. You have to really, and you have the tools now to be able to do that. And the spending power is probably the best signal that we can give to help transform many of these value chains that are.
People in the world, the top economists in the world, are actually demonstrating that no, there is a way forward. So that's really good. And it also illustrates the point that you make, Paul, that at the end of the day, this is an issue of the spirit. It's an issue of the heart. The way you run your company, the way you answer these questions is really inspiring, because you're not there to maximize your short-term bottom line. You're there to change the world and enrich and dignify the people that eat your ice cream, that work in the field, that work in your factories, and that's a wonderful thing to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.